I genuinely think that this series is about to be a whole lot more popular than it is right now. My name's Sam, and this is my channel. Do 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 do. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sam, and today we'll be talking about Scissor Seven, also known as Killer 7. This show is a Chinese-produced anime about a 21-year-old guy who opens up a barbershop while training to become a professional assassin with his sentient chicken friend Daibo. When I first came across this anime, I had some judgments about it. Netflix kept advertising it to me, and my brother was already a few episodes in, so I decided to sit down and watch a few minutes. Originally, I thought the art was crude and that the storyline was boring, but I decided to give it another chance and to actually watch it from the beginning, and I'm so glad I did. After watching 2 seasons and all the OVA episodes, my opinion on Scissor 7 has completely changed. Not only do I now understand the art style and understand that it's much better than I previously thought, but the writing of the show is really great as well. So let me break down exactly what changed my mind about this anime and why I think it's the next big thing to watch. Let's talk about the animation. At first glance, Scissor 7 doesn't really have anything special to offer in terms of visuals. The art is very simple and clean and replicates the older hand-drawn style of Japanese anime. It looks like it could have been pulled from a 90s animation studio, but if you sit back and pull the layers of why they made this decision, you'll realize why the art style of this anime is actually brilliant. Now, I'm not going to sit here and argue about whether hand-drawn is better than digital. To me, art is art, and as long as you're producing something, there is no matter of what's better. But, that being said, there is something different about hand-drawn animation, and with that, it brings along a sense of nostalgia. Scissor 7 is labeled as a slice-of-life comedy anime, and the style they chose really helps settle you into the world that the animators and the writers have chosen. A balance in the animation style helps keep the pace of the show going and prevents it from ever being too serious. It is a slice of life, but it's also a comedy, but it's also about an assassin with a sentient chicken friend. All those things are so much that I feel like this anime needs a very simple style of animation. Otherwise, the storyline is going to get too convoluted and it'll just be too much for a viewer. On the other hand, this style is exactly why you get so seriously invested into the characters. Usually, I have a really hard time with keeping track of what characters what, the names, and so on in an anime. Usually, I end up nicknaming them things like Shorty McAngerface or Purple-Haired Nerd, because I just can't keep track of who is who without creating identifiers. With Scissor 7, this is never a problem. Every character has a unique design and a memorable personality, and this is really important for the show, not only for viewer counts, but also when you think of things like merchandise. This is really important when it comes to marketing and merchandising. Being an animator, one of the first things you think about is the overall shape of your character. You want them to be recognizable and iconic. If we stripped everything from a character from Scissor 7 and pulled a "Who's that Pokemon?" would you be able to identify them? And the answer is yes. The animation may be made of simple shapes, but if you take Seven's outline and put him in a lineup of other characters, you would be able to easily identify him. And that's what makes it so much easier for them to get you to buy merch. Now, I've talked about the character design and why it pulls you in, but really, it's the rest of the animation that gets you to stay. Because of the hand-drawn styles of Scissor 7, the action scenes make much more of an impact than they would have otherwise. You get to see Seven fight in a frame-by-frame motion that really lets you appreciate the work that went into animating the fight. It may not have the sharp edges of a newer anime, but the fluidity that the animators were able to achieve in this anime is wondrous. But we can't give all the credit to the animators, because this show has some great emotion to it, which leads me to my next point. The writing on this show is really smart. Never in a million years did I think I would like, let alone identify with, a wannabe assassin. But the writers of the show have me empathizing with Seven in a way I don't feel bad about. Like, this isn't a situation where the villain is so well written that you just have to love them. You just truly end up with feelings of endearment or empathy. Seven is a really likable guy, as are most of the characters on the show. Each person is given a real backstory and a life. As viewers, we slowly get to know the main residents of the island, and the more we know, the more we become invested, wondering how Seven's antics are either going to help or hinder their own goals. The writer's pacing is as fluid as the animation is, bringing us from the present to flashbacks of both the residents and Seven's backstory. The plot twists, while being somewhat predictable, are very precisely placed. If you move even a single joke within the series, everything would be off, and I think that's a sign of great writing. Every event, every joke, every filler episode was placed where it was on purpose, either to create a setup, move the story along, or reveal a hidden piece of information. Each line had a specific reason to be there. Whoever the writers were, they thought long and hard about exactly what they were writing, and it pays off really well in the show, which leads me to my last point. Scissor Seven is a really good comedy anime, almost unlike anything China has ever released before. I think both the animation and the writing are of high quality, especially when you realize the exact work and the decisions that were made when putting this show together. Season 3 has recently dropped in China, however, as of recording this, they haven't released an English sub or a dub yet. Any day now, Netflix should be releasing a drop date for its availability in the United States, so y'all still have time to go binge watch this. The first season is 14 episodes, including the OVAs, and the second season is 12, all about 12 to 15 minutes per episode. I genuinely think this series is about to become a lot more popular, so if you want to stay up to date, I definitely recommend watching it soon, because everybody will be talking about it. Well, that's all I've got for you today. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and if you've seen Scissor 7, drop a comment below and let me know what you thought about it. Let's have a discussion. I really like this anime. Maybe you didn't. Let me know your thoughts, and if you think this anime is going to be the next big thing. Otherwise, my other social medias will be linked down below, and I'll see you guys next week for more shenanigans.